The richest player on Roblox right now has 464 million Robux. But all the way back in 2007, the richest player in the game only had 3,246 Robux. That player was one called Mike, and you might know him from his game called Ultimate Paintball, which at the time was the biggest game on Roblox and was actually the first game to ever hit 1 million visits. His game Ultimate Paintball was even so popular that Roblox made an event around it called the 2007 Paintball Tournament. He also had another super popular game called Minigame World, but he also made Robux through winning different contests. He won the Homestead Furniture Making Contest, and he was also one of the first users to ever win the Void Star for free. At that point, you literally could not even buy Robux. In order to actually earn Robux, you would have to win contests or get people to actually play your game. So obviously, being the winner of multiple different contests and being the owner of two of the biggest games at the time, Mike was the richest player on Roblox. And by the way, he was the richest player by far. Here's a ranking of the richest players at the time. You could see that number 2, Jacob XX Duel, was 800 Robux behind him, meaning Mike was even more rich than Telemon, Son of Sevenless, and Builderman. Keep that name Son of Sevenless in mind. Then in 2009, Work at a Pizza Place took over as the #1 game on Roblox, already having millions of visits on it. Meaning that Dude 1, the creator of the game, was likely the richest player on Roblox at the time. Work at a Pizza Place is still one of the most popular games on Roblox to this day, and will definitely go down as one of the greatest games of all time. For a Roblox game to be created in 2008 and to still be around 17 years later is insane, which should just show how good of a game this was, and still is. He actually went on in 2015 to become a Roblox administrator, and his game Work at a Pizza Place has been in a ton of different Roblox events. The Holiday 2014 event, the Teen Titans Go event, the Disney Infinity event, the Blocktober 2015 event, the Pizza Party event, the Hatch event, and so many other games. In 2009, I would estimate that he probably had close to about 15,000 Robux, which is actually insane for the time. Because for every time someone joined your game back then, you would earn 1 ticket, and every 10 tickets is equal to 1 Robux. So for the 1.5 million visits Work at a Pizza Place had it at the time, he probably earned about 15,000 Robux from it. But at the end of 2009, Roblox introduced a new feature called limited items that would allow you to buy and sell the items that you owned, and there was a brand new way to make tons of profit. In 2010, there were tons of limited items being created, and it led to a new richest player on Roblox, Telemon. It might be cheating because he is a Roblox administrator, but he pretty much had every single limited item that came out. The Dominus Imperius, Sparkle Time Fedora, Clockwork Shades, the Dark Heart. He had every single one of them was coming out. And he also had one of the top games on Roblox at the time, Sword Fights on the Heights 4. Another super popular old game that has stayed relevant throughout all the years. But it wasn't even that made him so rich. It was just his hoard of limited items that he had all throughout his different Roblox accounts. It is kind of funny to compare the difference in value of these limited items from now to how much they are back then. Right now, the Dominus Imperius, the most expensive item in the game, is worth 40 million Robux. But in 2010, it averaged around only 50,000. Still the most expensive item in the game. Based on the fact that he was an administrator, he literally had unlimited Robux. His limited items and earnings from Sword Fights on the Heights were probably worth more than 200,000 Robux at the time. Then in 2011, there's another player who likely took over, Stickmasterluke. He owned 2 of the top 5 games on Roblox at the time, Natural Disaster Survival and the Underground War. Of course, to this day, Natural Disaster Survival is still around and is still one of the biggest games on Roblox. But at the time, Natural Disaster Survival had about 3 million visits, and the Underground War had about 1.5 million. But the combination of him having 2 of the biggest games, and then also owning like almost every single limited item on Roblox, definitely made him the richest player in 2011. His 5.5 million place visits at the time, and his limited item collection made him worth over 1 million Robux at the time. But 2012 is where there was a lot of controversy about the richest player at the time, Jared Valdez 4. If you guys have ever heard of this name, then you probably know that he is the most iconic game stealer on Roblox. Basically what he would do is he would find popular Roblox games or really well made games and literally just steal them and upload them as his own game. And he literally made some of the most popular games on Roblox just through stealing other people's stuff. He made a game called Paintball, which was a complete ripoff of another game on Roblox called Paintball as well. He made another game called The Infection, one called Red vs. Blue, and tons of other games as well. At the time, he was the player with the most visits ever, having 23.1 million place visits on Roblox, which no one even had close to. He also had a bunch of alternate accounts that also had copied games that had tons of visits on it, like Jared Valdez 2 and Jared Valdez 1, and all of his alternate accounts, which amassed to over 56 million visits. The 55 million visits would have made him over 550,000 Robux, which probably wasn't more than Dude 1 or Stickmasterluke or Telemon, but I still think it was worth mentioning. Then in 2012, Roblox added another feature that completely changed the game: the trading system. Limited items were already the most valuable things on Roblox. Adding the ability to actually trade them with other players just made them insanely more valuable, meaning that the player with the most limited items at the time was the richest player on Roblox, Merely. He is one of 2 players on Roblox to own every single limited item that was ever created. Not only did he have millions worth of limiteds, he also developed one of the biggest games on Roblox at the time, Catalog Heaven. So in 2013, he probably had a few million Robux worth of limited items, making him the richest player on Roblox at the time. For the next few years, it was really just the same games and the same players that were the most visited and were the richest on Roblox. Work at a pizza place reclaimed the #1 spot, and it wasn't until 2016 where we saw somebody new becoming the new richest player on Roblox, Son of Sevenless, the alternate account of the Roblox administrator Shedletsky. This was pretty much his storage account for all of his limited items, and this account literally dominated as the richest player on Roblox for years and years to come. In 2017, it was worth 70 million Robux, with almost every single limited item in the game. Even the rarest ones that only 1 or 2 people have, this account had, making it worth about 80 million Robux back in 2017. Also, do keep in mind that Shedletsky has like 20 different alternate accounts that all have millions of Robux on it, meaning that if you combine all of his accounts together, they are literally worth billions of Robux just in limited items. So technically he is like the richest player on Roblox. But anyways, in 2018, Linkmon99 claimed the spot as the richest player in the entire game. Another person who's the richest based on limited items. His account peaked at about 85 million Robux in 2018. The items that he had back then are currently worth 520 million Robux. Dominus Imperius, Frigidus, Domino Crown, Midnight Blue Sparkleton Fedora, Eccentric Shop Teacher, Rainbow Shaggy, Lord of the Federation, any limited item you could think of, any limited item you could dream of, he owned. In 2019, Meep City was the biggest game on Roblox by far, with 4.4 billion visits at the end of the year. The second biggest game, Jailbreak, only had about 3 billion. Meep City was created by the user Alex Neutron, who's been on Roblox since 2007 and who's been making huge games since then, being responsible for a ton of the biggest games on Roblox. Games like Dodgeball, Wheel of Fortune, Apples to Apples, and plenty more. Just off of game visits alone, he would have made over 44 million Robux. Probably still not richer than Linkmon99 or Son of Sevenless, but he was the richest game developer on Roblox at the time. In my opinion, 2020 is the biggest turning point in Roblox's entire history. This is the point where Roblox went from a really big game to the biggest game in the world. Because at the end of 2020, the biggest game on Roblox, Adopt Me, had 17 billion visits. 1 year prior, in December of 2019, the game didn't even have 3 billion at the time, and it was the largest game on Roblox by far. Number 2, Meep City, only had about half as many visits, meaning that the creators of the game, New Fissy and B-Think, are likely the richest game developers on all of Roblox in 2020. Throughout 2020 and 2021, Roblox added a bunch of features such as premium payouts that made it a lot easier for game developers to actually earn Robux. So finally, players like Linkmon and Son of Sevenless were actually no longer the richest players on Roblox, even though for the last 5 years they were. Adopt Me actually continued its reign in 2022 and remained as the biggest game on Roblox by far. And it wasn't actually until 2023 that Adopt Me was dethroned by a game called Brookhaven. Because Brookhaven is mainly developed by only one person, who goes by the name of Wolfpack, it's likely that he became the richest player on Roblox starting in 2023. At the end of the year, his game hit 40 billion visits, which is actually just unheard of. And since then, nobody has even come close to dethroning Brookhaven. Still in 2025, Brookhaven is the biggest game on Roblox by far, with over 69 billion visits. Unfortunately, Wolfpack actually did sell the game, so he probably isn't the richest player on Roblox anymore, but he's definitely made billions of Robux from the game. And nowadays, since there are so many ways to earn Robux, it's really hard to tell who is the richest player on Roblox. Let me know in the comment section below who you guys think is the richest player right now. Personally, I have to go with Son of Sevenless. I think besides for that short period that Linkmon was richer than Son of Sevenless, this account really has never lost its status. The amount of Robux that big game developers are willing to pay for these items is actually just insane. I mean, the Dominus Frigidus most recently sold for 200 million Robux, and I don't think it'll ever sell for anything less than that ever again. Meaning that this account is probably worth a few billion. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Peace.